been a second, but stoked to be back. This time I'm breaking down a music video that I shot for the artist David Kushner. You may know him from his big song Daylight, but this video specifically was shot for his single called Empty Bench. If you're interested in watching the final cut of this music video, check out the link below. It's been a year since this video came out, but I just wanted to talk through how I approached this project, specifically as the DP. I got to shoot this music video alongside director-filmmaker Jason Lester. He did a great job, the talented human being. If we've never met before, my name is Mika Matinazad. I'm a freelance cinematographer and filmmaker, and on this channel I just try to bring all the nuggets of wisdom and things I've learned from my experiences. So if you're looking to learn more about filmmaking, freelancing, business, whatever, you're on the right channel. I'll go over how we pulled off this evening, nighttime, wintry look inside a studio. Maybe you can pick up some interior lighting tips on light placement, quality of light, and just overall approach to shooting on a cyc wall studio and how to go about putting the right things in the right place to make it look all right. So on the day of the shoot, we had to film 3 different scenes in one 12-hour day. So it meant 3 different lighting changes. Roughly on our shot list, we had 23 shots that we had to get. Set design shifts, different also snow intensities, which dictated how much cleaning we needed to do in between takes, like, having to wipe the windshield of a car, cleaning the camera lens. Also just taking breathing breaks because the chemicals in the snow machine were, I would say, pretty poisonous, to a point where everyone was kind of coughing by the end of the shoot, but we're all doing good. We're still alive. We scheduled the day to start off with less snow and to increase that intensity as the song builds up or as we transition into each scene. So let's do a breakdown of camera equipment. I got to film this music video on the Arri Alexa 35, which has the latest and best Arri sensor by far, and I paired this camera with the Canon K35 lenses, specifically the 35, 55, and the 85mm lenses at T14, which is crazy. In terms of filtration, I had like an 1/8 Pearlescent and I think an 1/8 Black Pro Mist and Hollywood Blackmagic. After testing those, I stuck mostly to the Hollywood Blackmagic to just help soften skin tones while maintaining strong highlights and midtones across the image. I'm gonna briefly share what the treatment looked like when we were taking a look at creating a shot list and how to approach lighting. Let's talk about the first scene. The video opens on a 35mm shot tilting down from the sky, which was replaced by VFX, to David sitting all lonely and somber on a park bench. In the background, we have nostalgic throwback VHS footage, replaying of David and his girlfriend, who the song is about. That footage, by the way, is not archival footage from the past that was collected. It was actually footage that we shot right before this scene, where I had a little camcorder with me and filmed them running around in a green grassy area for like 10 minutes and took the footage, dumped it in DaVinci, cut it up, did some VHS overlaying and textures to make it feel nostalgic. So back to the scene, we start on a slow Steadicam push in on David. The camera's in low mode on the Steadicam, which basically means you take a camera that's in regular mode, flipping it upside down to drop the camera lower. Then halfway through, while we're pushing in, we arc around him on a tighter lens. This was the 55 to get another angle of his performance. In terms of lighting, For this scene, my key light was a C-boomed light mat 2x1 that was coming over with an additional layer of diff to soften it, make that fall off look a little more natural. Luckily, we had also an overhead grid where we could mount more lights. So we took the first 2 hours of the day to rig our lights up there. That way we could have control over the ambient light that was coming down, as well as some other fixtures that were hitting the cyc wall only, and we could control those through a control board. I went with kind of a darker blue color on the cyc wall to give it like a wintry blue feel. We also put tubes up in the street light and added a layer of diffusion over that as well. In addition to that, there was also a top light that was bringing the ambiance of the room up. We also use an edge light to help separate him from the background. In my opinion, I could have dialed this lighting scene a little more. Maybe I need to have my light mat actually on the opposite side of him where the street light was coming from, because it was just feeling a little flat in the moment. And then rolled for 30 seconds on an over-the-shoulder shot of David flipping through the Polaroids that we had taken and collected of the couple before the shoot as well. About a minute in, we see the snow starting to fall, and which is always fun, adds texture to your image, but you also got to make sure that you bag your camera right, or else you're going to be getting all this soapy, watery liquid going through the fans and the buttons and all that stuff and messing up your cameras. All right, for this second scene, the snow kind of starts to come down a little harder. David walks into the scene and we track him on a 35mm lens. We film his profile where we track with him from the side, but then we also do a take where we lead him for another take. In order to spice this scene up, we had a few novas spread out in between our street lights, and we had them pulsing tungsten to kind of replicate like a car driving by or their headlights kind of going by. We also did bring down the intensity on the cyc wall lights to create more depth. Since the studio wasn't super big and we had limited space, we wanted it to feel as large as possible, so that's the solution we came up with. Dim the cyc lights and make it feel like we're kind of in a black void. We had 2 light panels up top as well that were casting a soft light down. We just kept those there from the first scene, and this is how it turned out. All right, moving on to our third setup of the day. This is our winter wonderland scene where we went full on with the snow. In this final setup, David is sitting in a car and we're shooting him through the windshield singing. In order to make this scene feel not as flat, a little more dreamlike with some more depth, I used a mix of cyan and teal blue on the outside to make the wintry blue moon evening scene feel a little more dramatic. There's also a spotlight coming down as the top light on the car because you know my inspo. Iconic shot. We used a total of 7 fixtures to light this final scene. We went with cooler tone lights. We used kind of 4 panels overall with softboxes, diffusion and grids on them, hitting the edges and bringing the ambient light up. We had a spotlight from the top paired with a light mat right next to it to kind of fill in the shadows. The same lights we kept from the first set. One fixture was in the back, hitting the back side of the car. One is hitting the front, and another is edging the car from the middle side. Warm lights, we have a key from camera left and the tube inside the car to bring the levels up. I'm using the kind of the dome light inside a car as motivation for his key light while he's sitting in there. The headlights on the car as well, because we had this 90s picture car that I love. Just love the hue of the tungsten headlights, so we definitely wanted to leave those on. We start on a slow push in again with the Steadicam and move eventually to a slider shot that we just basically pulled the Dana Dolly out, took it off the Steadicam, and put it on there to just have a clean push on David from the passenger side. Then we also happen to have a scissor lift at our disposal, which was what we used to pre-light the whole cyc wall, and thought it would be great if we did a top-down shot as the ending shot of this music video. So I hopped on the lift and put the camera on sticks, and as we kind of boomed up, I just kind of tilted down and reversed it a handful of times as we went down, and I tilted up just to have that one final grand shot of the nighttime look. With the limitation of small spaces like a cyc wall studio, you always want to make the space feel bigger than it is, which is why I opted for a shallower depth of field, you know, keeping the lights off the walls. And if you got a grid above and you have a ladder that you can reach it with, definitely use it. Try to pre-light your scenes and keep the lights off the ground to not make it feel distractible. Sweet. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. I'll see you guys on the next one.
And snow.
So you filters coming down there.
Yep.
All right, and
Playback.